Hey heathens, this is a very special deconversion story to me. It comes from UrbanClimber777. Now, if you've been around on my channel for a while, you recognize that name. He won the Transitional species because of this story that he sent me. If you don't remember before that, well, UrbanClimber777 had been coming to my channel trying to justify the Bible and Christianity and God as a whole, and then he went quiet for a little while. I get this letter shortly after he closed his channel and opened a separate one because he didn't want his old persona to be confused with who he had become since then. Young fella, but I always thought that he was fairly bright for his age, and he continued to show that as time went on. Anyway, getting to the story. Hey, what's up? It's UC777. We haven't talked in a while. I've been meaning to write this for a while, but it's just not something I care about as much as I once did. Most people start their deconversion story with Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, etc., and talk about how they saw through the lies earlier. Honestly, I just didn't care. I didn't worry too much about his existence. I was just happy to get a Game Boy. When my parents told me he didn't exist, I never asked, they just told me. I was like, oh, okay, I've known that for a while. I went to Catholic school since kindergarten. It was a great education. The teachers were kind of mean and underpaid, but I learned a lot, including evolution and Darwinism. Religion class was fun because me and my friends wasted class asking irrelevant questions about dumb stuff and generally messing around. But we were all well and indoctrinated, going to Mass once a week for school and then another time because our parents made us. After 8th grade, most kids went to Catholic high schools. Haha, they're in all-boys schools now. But I had to go to the public high because my parents didn't want to pay $4,000 a year for high school. My freshman year was normal, kind of sucked because I knew literally no one, but religion never came up except for when I went to Mass once a week with my mother, but I really just slept with my eyes open when I'd go. Then that summer, a couple of things happened. First, I discovered YouTube, but I'll get into that in a second. Something I found significant was my old friends from Catholic school. That I hung around with some, but half of them joined the youth group, which was fine, but I wasn't interested in singing songs and praying once a week. Then they started kind of shunning. That's kind of a strong word, more like discluding the kids that are not in the youth group, especially the ones that ended up going to public school. I don't think it was a conscious thing. It was more like we just grown in different directions. I used to be really good friends with some of them, but now not so much. And it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. The biggest factor, though, was YouTube. I've always kind of liked political, philosophical discussions, though admittedly I have no idea about anything, and I still don't really, but I'm a little better than I think. So when I found out about the atheist/theist debate raging on YouTube, I naturally got involved and defended what I'd always been taught. I remember one of your videos about why you have your channel. You said that you were waiting for someone who deconverted due to your channel. You can definitely say that about me. It was really the whole atheist movement on YouTube, but you definitely got me interested and involved. I feel like an asshole while I'm writing this to the atheist community in general, because I definitely meant what I was typing when I typed it, so I guess I can include this letter as an apology too. I noticed a tendency to argue with points to help understand it, whether I agree with it or not. So I guess this is the best explanation I can give for my actions. Over the summer, I was a Christian warrior with all the fire and vigor of someone who sleeps through Mass, then fights for their religion online. Oh well, I'm past that. Currently, I'm definitely not Christian. I'm deist in the sense that I believe a God is possible, but for all practical purposes, I'm an atheist. It was when I went back to school and I stopped caring for about 3 weeks that I realized I agreed with everything atheists said logically. But when I asked myself if I believed in God, I'd say yes. Then there was a point when I said no, I don't think there's a God. Currently, I'm basically in the closet about it. My mom makes us go to Mass once a week, though I don't know why. She's not particularly religious, and my dad doesn't even go to Mass, and he's not even Catholic. I'm going to tell them eventually, but it just isn't that important to me. Outside of YouTube, I never talk about religion unless someone brings it up. Guess how often that happens in high school. I don't care at all about religion until it's Saturday night and I have to go to Mass. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling. I'm kind of just rambling now. I realized that this was just a long rambling about myself. The real point was to tell you that I'm not a Christian anymore, and your channel does make a difference. Well, UrbanClimber777, as you used to be known, I appreciate everything that you have put into the letter that you gave me here. It's good to know that what I'm doing here does make a difference, and it's making a direct impact on the people that I'm talking to here on YouTube. Will I get through to everyone? Of course not. But I'm glad that someone like yourself was able to break the chains and think for themselves, which I ask all of you to do as well. So don't take my word for it. Think for yourselves.